Whew. All right, first things first. I just want to say thank you to everybody who has subscribed. It has been a great start, and I really hope to continue this momentum. This Jura6ix channel really has been smashing it lately, and it's a great start once again. Please do smash that subscribe button and hit that like button so that more Raptors fans, such as yourselves or NBA fans, can enjoy this content as well. Okay, and having said that, let's get into this first home opening game, post-game analysis. So to start things off, it was amazing seeing everyone back at home in the six, baby. I mean, the ovation for the players, like every single player got such a huge ovation, and it was such a heartfelt experience to see Dalano Banton receive the kind of ovation that he did. I mean, you should have seen the smile on the kid's face, and I'll get to him in a little while. But I'm just going to say this right off the bat before I continue with, a whole chronological order of what took place tonight. But I will tell you, I've been telling y'all about Dalano Banton. I've been telling y'all about him. And yeah, like I said, we will get to him. But just to point that out here real early. And the ovation, the great tribute poem by that lovely young lady who I think it was, she might have been like a high schooler, maybe just graduated from high school or something of the sort. But it was a really, really heartfelt, a very Toronto poem. You know what I mean? In the six like feel. All right. It had people of all sorts come in there and say different parts of the poem. And the girl killed it, and good on her. It was such a great vibe, just seeing the Scotiabank Arena full the way it was. It was just a surreal, nostalgic sort of feeling, to just see this after a couple of years like this. So there's that. The hype video also, because I do like making hype videos. If y'all haven't checked those out, do check those out. Just gonna put that out there. But the hype videos, yeah. Though I really, really like those hype videos that they make for the Raptors. Really good editing skills. Hats off to those guys. And just trying to keep improving my craft in editing as well so that I can get you all the best hype videos as well. But moving on, amazing energy in the building, especially to start off the game. It just shows you just how far having fans and having a home, an actual home, not Tampa Bay, an actual place to call home, how far that actually goes. Anyways, when they announced the team's lineups, it was an amazing feeling seeing the depth and options that Nick Nurse has at his disposal, wasn't it? I mean, I'm looking at all these guys getting their names getting called in the beginning, right? And everybody that they named, you're kind of already excited for. You're like, oh my God, if this guy develops, if this guy develops, if that guy develops. Isaac Bonga. I'm looking at and you don't look at players usually when 15 deep like this. And what's crazy is when, how before they announce the 5 starters, they'll announce the whole bench, right? In the beginning, right? And they're like, your coach, and then they'll do, and then they also announce Pascal, even though he wasn't playing. But regardless, so I'm looking at the bench being announced, and everyone, the whole crowd goes crazy, and I see all the way down till the last bench member, which was Chris Boucher, I believe. It was just excitement. You're like, I can't wait to see what this person does. And when Dalano Banton's name got called, everyone went nuts. So, and dude, no one's even sure this guy was gonna play. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Okay, I promise. I got a lot of stuff to say about Dalano. And first of all, guys, once they started announcing the starters, it dawned on me that same moment that, now our starters are being announced after being so excited just seeing this bench. Man, you could only imagine. I mean, listen, guys, not everybody on this roster is going to make it, but it's just what the Raptors are doing. It's what they're trying to find, and they will find. Everybody in that jigsaw puzzle, every piece to that jigsaw puzzle that they're trying to find. And they're trying to find guys that will fit into the system. So, if y'all notice, I haven't even talked about the final score. Yeah, we lost tonight. Toronto Raptors lost tonight. It was quite ugly for 3 quarters. I was watching every quarter. And up until late in the third, Dalano Banton comes in, and for his first field goal attempt in his NBA career, no one even expected him to play today. He heaves it from Kyle Lowry, Miami Heat, game, what was it, overtime, game 4 or something. I forget which game it was. Like sending us to overtime after shooting Dookie. He heaves it from 65 feet or so. More than that. This guy heaves it from like 80 feet. And it's money. This guy heaves it from beyond half court and it's money. Money in the bank. Dalano Banton sparked the Raptors after an ugly start. But was it all ugly? No, it wasn't. Because that defense. Oh, that defense. Boy, don't get me started on that defense. First of all, before we get to the monster defensive stats, I'm just going to say this. Anyone that's worried about O.G Anunoby and him having a cold night and yada yada yada, yeah, just off that energy. Please. We don't need that for OG. We got to remember something. Mans did not play competitive games for 8 straight days since preseason. Mans had to shake off some rust. Also, highly notable point here, the Raptors have many young players, new players, that are still getting assimilated to a notoriously, or what should I say, to a system that is by most known to be not easy to learn, not easy to get assimilated to, especially if you're coming from a system. Not saying Miami's system was not complex, for example, for Goran Dragic, but when you're coming to play with Nick Nurse, this guy is a wizard. So your brain gotta work like magic. There's no other way to put it. So moving on, and I loved what I saw from Scottie Barnes. Okay, Scottie Barnes finna be nasty with that skyhook, and he's gonna bring that shit back. Like he's gonna bring that skyhook back for him, cause like I remember that pretty ass skyhook he did in the first quarter. Everyone probably thought that was gonna clank off the rim or something. Butter. Oh my! It just like zipped through the mesh. It was just amazing to see, and he did it with confidence, and he's been doing that since the preseason. And you think it's out of control. Once he polishes that up, that's going to be a deadly, unstoppable shot for a 6'9", guard, slash forward with a 7-foot wingspan. Just saying. Side note, So it was really rushy, especially early. And like I said, those first 3 quarters are not really worth talking about too much. But from a defensive standpoint, I'm going to tell you right now that this team really, really pushed it. This team pushed it. From a defensive standpoint, they showed so much versatility. Everything that we've been touting, everything I've been touting in my previous videos, everything, a lot of, Raptors content creators on YouTube and analysts all over the place. Well, actually, not many analysts, especially when it comes to the American media, recognize just how monstrous this team's potential is. Maybe they do recognize it. Maybe they just fail to speak it out because it's a Canadian team. Maybe. I don't know. That's just my guess. Anyway, so, yeah, it was super rushy early. It was really good seeing Chris Boucher in this one. Okay? Seeing Chris Boucher gave me an epiphany about how deep this team is. Just seeing Vanvleet, he was comfortable in terms of his demeanor. But he was not comfortable in terms of the way he wanted to play, and that's okay. A lot of the team wasn't. Guys, it's more than just the ball didn't go in the net. All right? It's how you're going to get that, what shots you're going to create for yourself, for your teammates. And if you're looking to establish an offense in a system, in a flow, then there's going to be some growing pains initially, especially when you're playing with rookies. But once you're assimilated, once you're good, then those shots you're taking, you're much more confident with those shots because the way you attain that shot was so right. Okay? Sometimes teams can get hot and whatever they chuck up will go in. And that can happen with us too. Even tonight, it could have happened with us. Who knows? Right? Washington was seemingly making every shot. You know what I mean? When they did get a shot. But they had to work for those shots, didn't they? I mean, we We are no team to be messed with when it comes to defense. And we know that already. That was some scary ass shit for Washington. Speaking of which, Washington's Montrezl Harrell, he had a really good game. You know, I have him on fantasy this year, so I'm actually like, it was bittersweet. Yeah, I just don't like, I would love if he plays like that every night, just not against, you know, the Raptors. But good game by him. I will say this. Overall, guys, this is not going to happen every night, okay? And Washington is not a defensive team the way they showed tonight. I'm going to guarantee that to you, okay? Washington was held us to 30.9% from the field. That's how Washington news outlets are going to write it. But I'm going to tell you, we held ourselves to 30.9% from the field because we did not shoot efficiently at all. And that's okay. That doesn't mean we're never going to shoot well, you know? And remember, when we're getting, like I said, we're getting assimilated into an offensive scheme, a system, a flex offense that is different than something you can just learn off YouTube, right? Or off a random basketball book. You know, like we got coaches from all around the world, NBA coaches, we got international coaches, you know, Tim Gleason, we got Nick Nurse, we got player development coaches, Earl Watson, we got some great basketball minds working to create something that is different, and these players need to learn it before they can be comfortable shooting the lights out, which they will. And mark my words, when they do, it's going to be a problem for other teams, because despite the fact Washington won tonight, despite the fact they have all this firepower who have actually been on fire when they did get a chance. If this was other teams that Washington was facing that were not as defensively, like they would have blown that team out by 40 tonight, 50 tonight. But the Raptors gave them problems defensively, especially when we finally made a run in the fourth quarter, sparked by Toronto's very own Dalano Banton. Dalano Banton comes in, heaves it from 65 feet, 70 feet, you know, makes a buzzer beater to end the third quarter, sparks a huge run for Toronto, which brings us to within 10 points. And unfortunately, that was about the closest that we got. And that was because it was a little bit late by the time that happened. But Nick Nurse played Dalano all of the fourth quarter. And what that means is Dalano may have just solidified himself in the rotation, because the way he was playing was no fluke. He was bringing us back into that game. He was the only thing that gave us that, not only the spark, but the dude has finesse, the dude has playmaking, the dude has amazing defense. He was shutting down Beal in the perimeter multiple times, shut down Kuzma shot an air ball, but Beal was having trouble with him. Yeah, Beal is Bradley Beal, and he did make a few shots, fine. But at the end of the day, ask Beal if he had a tough time getting those shots off against us than he usually would he thinks he would against other teams, or he did in the preseason. And he'll guarantee you say yes. I'll guarantee you he'll say yes. So point being that Dalano Banton came out, and for all y'all who need a small forward in fantasy, I would highly recommend keeping my eye on Dalano Banton for the next few days if y'all don't have a Raptor already. Yeah, because this guy might be part of the rotation just based off what he did tonight. He literally changed the energy of this game. Dalano Banton, I've been talking about him in my recent videos. You know, NBA Chef talks about him. And I'm going to tell you right now, this guy is the real deal. He's going to be great. I did not expect him to even be here right now. I thought he was going to be in the G League. I didn't even think he was going to be playing tonight. This guy played a whole quarter. So anything can happen in this league, right? So, yeah, for Washington, Bradley Beal scored 23 points. Montrezl Harrell had 22. Kyle Kuzma had 11 points, 15 boards. That's really good for him. Spencer Dinwiddie came in and scored 13 points. That was all right for him. Now, for us, like I said, we struggled to put the ball in the net. Regardless, we only lost by 15 points, and we were down by as much as 30. So I'm not too what can I say? I'm not too worried about this team at all. I'm not worried at all, actually. What am I saying, too? I'm not worried at all. Fred VanVleet had scored 12 points. Scottie Barnes, 12, O.G Anunoby, I expected better from him, but it's the first game of the season, and like I said, assimilation can take a little bit of growing pains. And this team is known to learn things fast. Exhibit Pascal Siakam developing fast, Anunoby developing fast, and I'm not going to be surprised if Scottie Barnes coming in looking the way he has this game, because I'm only telling you about, look, I mean, OG Anunoby had a bad game and he had a double-double, all right? I have him on my fantasy too, on one of my leagues, and I'm going to tell you right now, hold on, give me a second, let me just look at this. OG Anunoby, his defensive stats tonight, 2 steals, 1 block, 11 points, 10 boards. He had an assist, you know? Look, he shot a couple, he made a couple threes. He shot 9 of them. He was 2 of 9 from the 3, and he was 2 of 9 from 3, and that's not gonna happen all the time with OG. I'm gonna tell you, he's much more efficient than that, and y'all already know that. It's a simulation. It's nothing to worry about. Nobody needs to worry about anything. I'm guaranteeing it. Okay? And that's OG right there. Precious Achiuwa. Now, I expected much better from Precious, but I feel like it's going to be it's a sophomore season. It's going to be a little bit of growing pains with him as well. I mean, growing pains with everybody, but it's not really growing pains, guys. This should be like growing pleasures, because you're getting to see firsthand rather than just hearing it in a news report later after they get really, really good. And these are no longer problems. You're going to see the evolution. You're going to see the time in which it took and how quickly they evolved, these players. Am I saying every single player on the Raptor will evolve like this? No, but trust me, Scottie's going to evolve really fast. Dalano Banton already has evolved since a couple months ago, and he will continue to. You know, I'm going to tell you, Justin Champagnie didn't even get to play today. I don't even think he's seen any time. But that guy will evolve. I have good hopes for that guy. And there's a lot more. Fred VanVleet's going to bounce back. We know Freddie. All right, he's called Steady Freddie for a reason. And Steady Freddie had to be steady in other aspects today. You know, he had a leadership speech that he gave to the Toronto crowd early in the game. He's taken this team on his back in terms of leadership. Him, Anunoby, Pascal Siakam, they've kind of all done that together. But Freddie's like the spokesperson, you know, he speaks like a coach. Many people out there say Freddie would make a great coach, a great basketball mind, high IQ individual, very classy person, and Fred is a beast. In the end of the day, Fred has that heart. He has championship pedigree. So we got to remember there's a lot to love and there's a lot less to worry about. That's what I'm going to tell you guys to take away from this game. Okay? Don't look too much into, you know, the storylines here. Washington comes out like, you know, listen, it's the first game of the season. Even if we won this game crazy, I'm not going to come out here and tell you, oh, I told you. Oh, no, it's a long season. But at the end of the day, this was still a step in the right direction because of that run that we made at the end there. That run we made at the end there, that solidified. Okay, let me tell you guys this. If we were not down by 30 points, you think Dalano Banton would have gotten a chance to come in like that and play and prove that he can actually bring this team back? And, you know, like maybe that never would have happened and we never would have gotten to see this. Maybe Dalano he would have been down in the G League, you know, and now he might even be playing in the next God knows how many games. Maybe he'll just be a solidified rotation piece. Maybe even, dare I say, crack the starting lineup on some nights. I don't know. Dude looked good. I wasn't capping when I was saying earlier in my videos that this dude is going to be something special. That perimeter defense mixed with interior defense, that versatility, that defensive and offensive IQ combination, legendary status already. It's only going to get better. That playmaking, that elite vision, that ball handling at his height, and his demeanor is very humble and it's very businesslike. And I love that about Dalano. Same with Scottie and same with actually all of our players. Masai, you done well picking these guys, man. These are good men. And these are men and boys, because, you know, a lot of younger individuals on our team that really, really care about this whole getting better thing. And they're really committed to development and committed. You guys have really sold them on what you're trying to do here. So it must be good. Because I can tell you, most of our players are high IQ players. You know, we don't sign dummies. Not saying they're dummies in the league, but questionable characters. We don't deal with that shady shit, right? All right, so box score for our Raptors, right? So Scottie Barnes, 12 points, 9 boards. He was 0 of 1 from 3, but that's okay. 5 of 13 from the field. That will improve. He took good shots, Scottie did. Most of his shots were good. It's more... He had an assist, but Scottie Barnes is somebody that on the court brings you so much character, so much energy. He brings so much more... So many intangibles for a rookie especially, that, you know, general managers should drool at the prospect of having this guy on, as a prospect on their team, right? Scottie had a steal, and I'm not surprised if he starts averaging close to a block a game. You know, maybe, and I'm telling you, in his prime, this guy's gonna be deadly. I don't even want to guess those numbers because the food these boys eat these days, the training that they're gonna be going through, especially in Toronto, and the hunger that Scottie Barnes has, he looks like he could eat more than anybody, eat more training, more development than anybody from that whole draft class that we see. Anybody, including Cade, including Jalen Green. Scottie Barnes want to eat all that talent from that pool. He's going to be a problem. He had 6 turnovers. Okay. Not the best thing in the world. But then again, that's going to improve. He's a rookie. It's good to get these mistakes out early, guys. Instead of he comes out with a hot start and then these things come out later and then it hurts his confidence more. It's better if he just gets these little, chinks out of his armor early so that he can solidify his role in in the starting lineup this year and the rotation. Once all the guys get back from injury, maybe he'll still start. And then we'll see where it goes from there with him. But I know that it's only going to go up and the trajectory is only going to be going upwards, not downwards with Scottie. And now, I'm sure y'all see why I was hyping Dalano so much in my previous videos, but the same thing goes for Dalano. And I wouldn't worry too much about Gary Trent Jr., as I also said in my previous videos, because Gary Trent Jr. is going to find his footing. Remember, he is only 22 years old. There's time. And he just got to the Raptors. He's just learning how to develop. I like his attitude. I like what he brings to the team. And I feel like every team needs somebody like Gary. So I'm glad we have him. And at the price tag we have him at, if everything pans out the way it should, with the development of him, then it's going to be a fucking steal. Anyways, everybody, thank you all for listening. It has been a pleasure. And I will continue to bring you all sorts of Raptors content, including Fantasy Fridays, where I'll give you some tips on sleepers, waiver wire tips on who you should pick up, and predictions on who may go off, who may not go off, a couple of hot news updates, the whole shebang. And also, there will be hype videos, so remember, every week, at the end of the week, most likely on a Sunday or a Monday, there will be a hype video that will include highlights from that last week's game. Okay, so y'all stay tuned for that. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you all for listening once again. Listen to Jura6ix. This is Ali, your host. And don't worry about nothing, y'all. We got this. We the North, baby. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.